these are some of the steps the military is going to take to make sure you're apprehended. Now, in addition to that, they will start tracking you. And so how do they start tracking you financially? So it will start looking to see, okay, let's look at your credit card history. Let's flag that. Let's work with these providers and say, okay, let's subpoena your credit cards. Let's subpoena that to see, you bought a plane ticket to X location, or you're using your credit card here. They're going to go to your, depending on the seriousness of the offense, obviously, if you committed murder and absconded, they're going to be looking for you a hell of a lot more than if you violated a PAC order in the Marine Corps and you've got a special court-martial. The effort the NCIS, the military, is going to take to track you down if you committed some sexual assault, child sexual assault, or murder, some serious crime, is going to be a lot more effort than if you did something, you really minor, you smoked some weed and you got court-martialed and you ran. So if you smoke some weed and you're going to a special court-martial and you ran, it's not going to be like Jack Reacher or Clear and Present Danger. The CIA is not going to get involved, and it's not going to be like Open Eye or some of these movies. That's just not going to happen. But the amount of effort that they're going to put into you is going to be probably commensurate with the level of the offense. And on the other side of it is, do you really want to be living your life on the run in some country where that's non-extradition or extradition, living, looking over your shoulder your entire life because you smoked some weed in the military? Probably not what you want to be doing, but this stuff does happen. And funny enough, I've had cases where people have run and they've got caught 6, 7, 10 years later. And it's kind of funny because now what the hell do we do with this person? I had a case in Hawaii where someone went on the lam and they ran well before I represented them. I think they ran, I was probably a lieutenant when they initially ran, and they went down to the Big Island and were living off the land on the Big Island, and they managed to, not get caught for, I think it was 9 years. And there was a death in the family, and they flew back to Oahu, and they started living kind of back on the radar, and they got caught. They didn't get caught by some high-tech CIA special operations task force or anything like that. They got caught because they were speeding, and they had a deserter warrant put out for them. So if you're running and you have a deserter warrant out for you, number one, turn yourself in, but don't speed. You're going to get caught. Turn yourself in instead. He was in the Army, and he hadn't been in the Army for like 9 years. And so he had gained some weight, couldn't do the PT, and was kind of living his best life down at 𝗲𝗏 somewhere. And now the military was like, what the hell do we do with him? So they placed him in pretrial confinement. They're like, okay, now you're back in the Army again. And I guess he was a specialist. And so he hadn't been in the Army for like 9 years. And so they're trying to reintegrate him into the Army. And so they charged him with desertion. And no one wanted to try the case. The prosecutors didn't want to try the case because it was 9 years old. The underlying offenses were not very severe. And all the witnesses, it's kind of funny, it might have worked out in his favor. All the witnesses were gone. All the evidence was stale. I mean, the case was dead after 9 years. And so they just gave him a Chapter 10, which was a discharge in lieu of a court-martial. So he got caught, got placed into pretrial confinement. He retained us. We ended up negotiating a Chapter 10, and it cleared him. It cleared his warrants. He got discharged as an E1 with an other than honorable discharge without a conviction on his record, went back to the Big Island, and was back to living his best life without a discharge. So that was something that I don't want to say worked out in his interest, because, again, don't run, don't abscond. It's not the right thing to do. You're going to get caught. At least everyone I know that's run has got caught. Maybe you're the one watching this who didn't get caught, and good for you. But if you're probably not. If you're facing a court-martial and your circumstances is so bad that you've considered running and not showing up for trial, don't do it. The best solution for you is to figure out an actual strategy to win a trial. Don't run. I can walk you through this entire process before it gets worse than it already is. Give me a call at 813-669-3500, and let's talk it through.